Breaking news tonight, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died. How she is being remembered tonight.
First of all, that's very arrogant. We'll start off with that.
And Broadway bars not holding back tonight after revelations about just how many cases were linked to them before the city shut them down this summer. The one thing they say the city never did that shows they were unfairly targeted.
And a student says she was barred from a volleyball match because of her hijab. And tonight, she is calling for change.
News 4 Nashville starts now.
And we begin
breaking news alert.
That breaking news tonight, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died after a long battle with cancer. Thank you so much for joining us here on air and on the News 4 app. The Supreme Court says she suffered complications from metastatic pancreatic cancer and passed away at her home.
Yeah, and we're actually taking a live look right now. Look at all these people. This is a gathering in Washington, D.C. outside of the Supreme Court. You can see just a mass of people, crowds there, obviously just there in memory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. NBC's Tracy Potts has a look back on her life and legacy as a woman who inspired really generations of Americans.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent more than a quarter century on the U.S. Supreme Court and spent much of her career fighting for equality.
How wrong it is to judge people on the basis of what they look like.
Born in Brooklyn, New York, she tied for first in her class at Columbia Law. But with no job offers from law firms, this was the late 50s, she taught at Rutgers and Columbia, then helped launch the ACLU Women's Rights Project in the 70s. Later, as their lawyer, she won 5 of 6 cases before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Her ultimate goal was to get sex discrimination treated by the Supreme Court the same way that race discrimination was treated.
From the Court of Appeals, President Clinton made her the second female on the nation's highest court, where she continued to even the playing field, ending male-only college admissions, supporting reproductive rights and the LGBTQ community. While her rulings leaned liberal, off the bench she was close friends with the late conservative Justice Antonin Scalia. In her 80s, Ginsburg became popular with a new generation, celebrated in the book The Notorious RBG, and parodied on Saturday Night Live.
I'm never gonna step down now, you can't get rid of me.
There's this whole new generation of young people who really admire her and think of her as, you know, kind of a rock star.
Justice Ginsburg spoke out about the Me Too movement.
It is as effective for the woman who works as a maid in a hotel as it is for Hollywood stars.
A wife, a mother, a grandmother, an advocate for equality for nearly half a century. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says if President Trump selects a nominee for the Supreme Court, the Senate will vote on that nominee despite it being an election year. Now, you may recall that McConnell actually refused to hold a vote on President Barack Obama's nominee back in 2016 after Justice Antonin Scalia died. McConnell explained his refusal at that time, saying it was an election year. All right, stay with News 4. We will have continuing coverage on all of this. Even when we are not on air, you continue to follow our coverage through our News 4 app.
Tonight, Nashville's bars are getting to stay open a little later, until 11 o'clock, in fact, as the city moves into yet another modified version of Phase 2. But that does not mean that Broadway bar owners are in a good mood tonight. They're upset over revelations about just how many cases of COVID were linked to bars back earlier this summer when the city ordered them closed. And tonight, they are reacting. News 4's Ryan Breslin live on Lower Broadway for us. So, Ryan, we know that an attorney for some of these bars is speaking out tonight.
Yeah, Tracy, Brian Lewis is representing a few of the honky-tonks here on Broadway. He's already suing the mayor and the Metro Health Department at this point for violations to civil rights during the pandemic. He tells me that the information coming to light only makes bar owners more firm on their positions.
You can't change the facts.
It's no secret Nashville bar owners are upset, learning only 19 COVID cases were reported in bars as Mayor Cooper ordered them closed for 14 days just before the July 4th holiday.
You make a unilateral decision to shut down, a political decision to shut down a whole industry based on this type of data. There's something really wrong with that because it's hurting people.
You began to have bar outbreak in late June, and that was telling you that it was probably going to propel the second wave.
The mayor telling our Nancy Amons Friday morning the choice was the right public health move to get high school football back and fans in the Titans Stadium now.
Now, I get that special interests right now can complain that they were unfairly dealt with, but everybody has had a hard few months.
Cooper commenting further on the Broadway bar owners, saying,
"It is just a single group of basically people that, have been playing with matches in a barn, complaining about taking their matches away."
First of all, that's very arrogant. We'll start off with that. That's very arrogant because these are people's lives he's dealing with here in town.
Attorney Brian Lewis questioning why the mayor didn't follow the data and take action in other industries.
During that period of time, the construction industry had 1,000+ cases reported. They didn't shut down construction in Nashville. This is just mind-boggling to me.
And the bars here can stay open until 11 o'clock tonight. Restaurants remain at 50% capacity and dance floors remain closed. Tracy?
Tonight, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee is doubling down on his push for businesses to reopen in Nashville and across the state. Yesterday, he said Metro Nashville is recovering much more slowly than any other metro area in the country and said the economic strategy there is not effective. While in Memphis today, he called for businesses there and in Nashville to be allowed to open back up.
The key is doing both of those at the same time, opening businesses, opening schools, getting kids back in the classrooms, and maintaining protective health measures at the same time. As the virus has subsided in those major metropolitan areas, we need to open our businesses back up. We need to get people back to work. We need to get our economy moving forward. It's happening in a lot of places across the state, but we need to make sure that happens in our metro areas too.
Governor Lee also criticized Mayor John Cooper's request for extra CARES Act money to help struggling businesses, saying the city has not properly spent the money it's already received.
Tonight, 2 deputies are cleared of wrongdoing after shooting a suspect last month. We actually have some new police dash cam and body cam video to show you tonight. The TBI says that the suspect led deputies on a chase before crashing on 840. Investigators say the suspect then got out of the car with a gun. Deputies then tell people nearby to get back and ask the suspect to not make them shoot him. But then he raises the gun at deputies and that's when they fire. You can see then he falls to the ground after he's shot in the leg. He then gets up and actually runs off into the woods still armed. He was later captured by deputies and is now being charged.
Family and friends saying goodbye today to Jordan Stevens. He died almost a week ago during a violent crime spree as they simply headed to church, he and his wife. Family and friends remembered Jordan Stevens today at First Baptist Church in McMinnville. They say he was funny, humble, and quiet, loved music and cars. They called him a hero. His mother emotional as she remembered her son's kindness.
And Jordan would be telling me right now, Mama, you stop crying. From a mother, my heart is breaking. But I know Jordan, he's in a better place. And I thank God that he gave me that little blessing. And I want you to know he had a heart of love.
His widow, who is pregnant, also with a special message about him.
It says, to my husband, you are my always and forever. My happily ever after. My soulmate, my best friend. So if you have someone that you know you have next to you, I hope that that gives you some encouragement to love them while they're here.
Jordan Stevens and his wife Eileen were carjacked on the interstate as they headed to church last Sunday. Investigators say D'Angelo Dorsey held them hostage for hours and eventually shot and killed Jordan before killing himself.
This is forewarned weather.
How about this day today? Our afternoon temperature is 77 degrees and it's still so comfortable right now. We're at 62. This northeast wind right around 10 miles per hour. All across the mid-state, we've enjoyed a lot of sunshine with the exception of folks down here to the southeast. You've had to hang on to that cloud cover today, but more sunshine is expected across much of Middle Tennessee for tomorrow. If you're getting up early, you're going to like this. How about temperatures in the 50s? I'll let you know how warm it will be and just how long we're going to keep these cooler mornings with our forewarned forecast.
Keep them coming, Lisa. All right, new tonight, it's going to be a sight to see come Sunday when Titans take the field at home for the first time this season. It's going to be in front of a ton of empty seats. Going to look a little weird. Our Justin Beasley shows us how it will put an end to one family streak as season ticket holders.
Like a true fanatic, Christian has kept every single Titans ticket.
Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson. That's probably the last year they kept doing paper tickets.
And documented each moment of his Titans fandom.
We sat there when they were 2-14, 3-13.
With his grandfather Don, they've witnessed the good, the bad, and the ugly.
You go through it and you see so many open seats around us.
Together, the two have been to 16 consecutive season opening games since the Titans moved to Nashville.
Ever since I was 5 or 6, it's been our kind of thing. Every Sunday, it's our 7 hours just to get away from whatever we got going on. That's kind of why we've been so close. The Titans have really bonded us, and that's our time. No checking phones or anything, because phones usually don't work in the stadium anyways.
This year, that streak will unfortunately come to an end due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Without a game, for being able to attend a game on Sunday is going to be like being a away game for the Titans, for us to sit here and watch it on TV.
I'll probably go to church on Sunday morning and kind of take our time and get some new routine, but hopefully not get too comfortable with that, because hopefully we're back in there soon.
And there's nothing like being a season ticket holder and experiencing every big moment in person at Nissan Stadium, but they understand when they return to their seats in a limited capacity, it will be different.
I would be glad to be back, but I think it'd still be a little weird because you're so used to those fans that are around you and the high-fiving people behind you, but I'm still invested as ever.
In Mount Juliet, I'm Justin Beasley, News 4 Now.
I was mad and hurt.
A student athlete reacting after she says she was told she couldn't play a volleyball game because of her hijab. Tonight, the change she wants to see and how the TSSAA is responding.
Plus, a terrifying ordeal for a driver after his truck fell dozens of feet off an overpass. What investigators say is to blame for this terrifying wreck.
You're watching News 4 Tonight.
A Nashville freshman says that she was disqualified from a volleyball game because she was wearing a hijab. And now she is calling for a rule change because she believes it discriminates against people's religions. For Valor Collegiate Academy freshman Najah Akil, volleyball is her getaway.
It's something to take my mind off of school.
But during a game this week, she was told she couldn't play. A ref told her coach her hijab violated rules put in place by the National Federation of State High School Associations, or NFHS.
I was mad and hurt. I do feel like I've been discriminated.
Let's go, Nana! Akil says she had already played a game this season with her hijab, but the ref said she needed a letter giving her special permission to wear it during play. Akil says neither she or her coaches knew about this requirement.
I want to get the rule changed. I just want it to be thrown out of the book completely because there shouldn't be a rule stating that I cannot wear something for religious reasons.
And the American Muslim Advisory Council sent News 4 a statement saying that they're demanding TSSAA, which adopted that rule from NFHS, revoke the rule because it discriminates against Muslim girls. Now, TSSAA also says in a statement to us that the rule says that hair devices not part of the uniform larger than a certain width violate the uniform rule. But they say exceptions for religious reasons can be made, and they say that they have granted Akil that right to play. And Brentwood Academy, where that game was being played that night, said that they didn't even know a player on the other team had been disqualified. New tonight, Metro Schools says that it will keep its 6 outdoor virtual learning help centers up and running for another 2 weeks. Now, district officials say that the centers have helped more than 2,000 students and families with all sorts of problems related to virtual learning. The centers will stay open through at least Friday, October 2nd, and they will open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have a list of all the locations listed right now on the News 4 app.
We've got some new video to show you tonight of a bad crash in Bristol, Tennessee. As you can see, a car ended up inside a building, and it got pretty far in there too. Left glass and debris everywhere. Investigators say the driver had a medical emergency and was taken to the hospital after this with non-life-threatening injuries. This was a vacant building, so no one else was hurt. We want to head to Houston now, where another crash ended with an even bigger mess. You can see here, step out of the way here, an 18-wheeler badly damaged. The reason is that it fell almost 30 feet off an overpass. Investigators say a drunk driver headed the wrong way caused all of this. They were able to catch up with her. She is now charged with DWI. As for the truck driver, he only suffered minor cuts and bruises.
New tonight, President Trump says there may be a COVID-19 vaccine for all of us very soon. Just how soon? He says next April. He said so earlier today. That ambitious timeline is actually very different from what the head of the CDC, Dr. Robert Redfield, told Congress. He says we probably won't see widespread vaccinations until the second or third quarter of 2021. President Trump immediately pushed back on that, saying that the CDC director was confused. Right now, there are 6 potential vaccines in the works, all at different stages of testing. And speaking of the CDC, the agency is yet again updating its guidelines when it comes to tests for Americans who don't have COVID-19 symptoms. Now, the CDC says that anyone who has come in contact with an infected person should go get tested. You may remember that late last month, the CDC changed its guidelines on its website to say people who have been in contact with a COVID-positive person but didn't have symptoms, they didn't necessarily need a test. So this is a reversal on that policy, saying you should be tested.
We want to go out west now, where the weather is throwing a bit of a curveball at firefighters trying to get several wildfires under control tonight. Almost 2,000 homes in Oregon have been torched so far. Rain is in the forecast there. Thank goodness, it's a good thing, but it also means that mudslides will be a threat in some of those places that have been burned.
We're concerned about trees that have already fallen as a result of the fire. As the rain hits, are those likelihood of sliding further down the hill.
Meantime, red flag warnings and fire weather watches are in effect all along California's eastern border. Tragically, a firefighter was killed yesterday fighting the El Dorado fire. A procession took place in his honor today in San Bernardino County. You'll recall a gender reveal party is being blamed for causing that fire.
Now, your forewarned weather, certified Nashville's most accurate.
Beautiful day today, our afternoon temperature at 77 degrees, and we've got more fantastic fall-like weather on the way. The temperatures will continue to drop tonight. Lots of sunshine coming in over the next few days, and our rain, we're going to keep that in the distance until next week. We'll probably be ready for it by then. Looking out tonight, we do have a few clouds to the southeast, but 62 degrees and a clearer sky in Nashville. 58 is the latest from Springfield, 58 degrees in Dixon, and 62 right now in Murfreesboro, and these temperatures will continue to drop tonight into the 50s. This drier air mass is in place today, and this dew point in the 50s that you see here, wow, that does make it feel so much more refreshing. You can see those clouds I was talking about across the southeast, and then look here to the south. This is our new tropical system. Last night I was telling you it was a tropical depression, number 22. Well, it is now not Wilfred like we thought it might be, because we did get a Wilfred, but just not here. This is Beta. So we had an Alpha that made its way in all the way down in Portugal, and now we've got Beta with winds at 60 miles an hour. And look at this crazy track this is going to take will make its way into Texas by the time we get to early next week. So we'll be watching that for an impact on our weather right here. And a little bit is in our forecast. Now, they're just lined up out in the Atlantic Ocean. This is Teddy, and this is what became Wilfred, which is right out here. And of course, Beta is the one that's closer in the Gulf. So a lot to watch over the weekend, and we'll keep you updated on that. Our futurecast is showing how things will continue to chill down tonight a little bit into the 50s. And by tomorrow morning, we will be in the mid-70s around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A few showers are possible across the southeast, but for the most part, I think you're just going to see some clouds tomorrow. And another cool start on Sunday morning, and then rolling right into the afternoon. We will see our temperatures again into the mid-70s for afternoon highs. Got a golf game in the morning? Well, it is going to be on the cooler side with 55 degrees right around 7 o'clock. And tomorrow, a great day to head out to Cheekwood. It's looking like fall there. 66 at 11, 72 around 1 o'clock, and the afternoon high coming up for tomorrow at 76 with that sunny sky. Beautiful day on Sunday as well if you're going to be cheering the Titans on from a party at home there. 77 degrees will be nice. 80 degrees on Monday, and Tuesday looks great at 81. Another great looking day on Wednesday, and that tropical system could bring us some showers by Thursday and Friday of next week. Chris?
All right, Lisa, some Friday night fun at the football field again this evening. The weather was perfect. It's on you. Great job. We got some good stuff from a few local Division II schools, and oh, there's an overtime game in the woods. An update next. All right, we're into week 5 of the high school football season here in the state, and wow, did it feel like a fall football Friday night out there. Let's start our stuff at Nashville Christian. Jeff Brothers guys get a big test against Columbia Academy. Up 7-0 here in the second quarter. I want you to watch what pure effort looks like. Eagles number 3 is Martise Edwards, and how many tackles does he break? Count them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, still on his feet. What a play by Edwards before he's finally corralled. The Eagles get nothing out of this drive, but you got to give the young fella his due, right? On the other end, here comes Columbia Academy. Quarterback Franklin Walker heaves it up there to Collins Malone. Big play, and that would lead to this. Walker, keeper, finds pay dirt, but you know what? The Eagles outlast him 21-6. Nashville Christian gets the victory. Off West End, MBA brings in Memphis University School. Another huge region matchup. MBA is up 23-13 in the third quarter, but here comes the Owls. George Hamsley up to Gavin McKay. Concentration on that grab. Touchdown, 23-20 game. MUS bowed up in that third quarter, too. Look at knocking on the door again. This is third down. Nice goal line stand by the Big Red. But then on 4th and goal, the Owls' Chris Goodwin punches it in. MUS takes the lead, but guess what? MBA retakes the lead with 6 to play, and the Big Red get the victory 30-27. Brentwood, Ravenwood in overtime right now as we speak. All right, we continue to track the Tennessee Titans, who play their home opener on Sunday against Jacksonville. We know that the Titans will be without receiver A.J. Brown. He did not practice the last 2 days due to a bone bruise in his knee. Another starter, cornerback Malcolm Butler, is also questionable and didn't practice today with a quad issue. The Titans, of course, looking to start out 2-0 for the first time since 2008.
Obviously, the number one goal every single year is to win the division. So we had to start by beating our division opponents. So we got a really good Jacksonville team. We went and beat the Colts. I think the Colts kind of underestimated them.
Really nice O-line, good backs, very talented receivers. So they have a complete offense, and we're going to have to come with it this week.
Yeah, we know Derrick Henry's recent history against the Jaguars, too. I'm curious to see how many carries the Tractor gets after his 31 that he had on Monday Night Football. Also want to mention time change for tomorrow's home opener in the Borough. Middle Tennessee's game against Troy moves up to a 2:30 p.m. kickoff. It'll also be televised on ESPN. Up to 7,000 fans will be allowed in the stadium. And get this, Brentwood High School 28, Ravenwood 21. In overtime, it just went fine. We'll be back in a minute.
A special ceremony honoring a Nashville classic, an historical marker dedicated today on Elliston Place, known as the Rock Block. It was a popular commercial area for much of the 20th century. It is home to places like the Exit Inn. Yeah, I spent many a college night there. And the Hurry Back Bar. Developers have bought up a lot of the land along the Rock Block. They have plans for projects there in the works, but hopefully it'll retain that
and
rock
it's
feel.
so exciting once we can get live music back, and
Cannot
we're
wait.
slowly starting to do that. I've been seeing some venues on social media.
Yeah.
They're bringing back socially distant shows, so look out for your favorite venues.
Well, we do want to leave you with another reminder of the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the folks that have turned out to honor her
Look at
memory
that.
there.
Yeah, so obviously this is in front of the U.S. Supreme Court there in Washington, D.C. Many people honoring her life and legacy. Have a great night, everyone.